Fitzgerald, winner here in 75, again last year in 82. Is the hat-trick definitely on in 83?
We'll certainly give it a try, Mike. Kerry rallying is rough rallying, really. Roads very slippy. The weather conditions look as if it may rain this morning, and the opposition between Frank O'Mahony and now with the Asona of Frazer, I reckon that it'll be a three-way split one way or the other.
Many people think that the duel between yourself and Frank is going to be the highlight. I think that's far wrong.
Well, I think Frank in his fuel-injected car is certainly as quick as my car. Frank has had lots of bad luck, so with a bit of effort now, maybe he just might get it all together this weekend. 2 days rallying, so we'll see.
Due to mechanical problems, the change from Ford to Vauxhall hasn't been very happy for you. Is that all in the past now?
Well, hopefully. We had fuel injection problem in the West Cork, and we had reoccurrence of the same problem in Banna, plus a clutch problem. But since then we fitted a new Lucas put on a new fuel injection system, so we're hoping that keep your fingers crossed it is okay. I just tested it in the road last night and she seems to be okay, so we just play it by ear now for the first few stages and see what will happen.
Alan Frazer, how does it feel to be driving the Ex Ger Buckley Opel Asona 400?
Well, it's quite an improvement on the Escort I used for the last year or so. It's a very stable car over very jumpy sort of conditions, and very fast, much quicker than the Escort.
In many people's estimation, Demi and Frank would be really having a go today. Do you think you'll be able to stay with them?
I would doubt it really. What I'm really trying to do is to get used to the car. The handling characteristics are so much different to the previous car I've driven, and I'd quite like to build up a couple of events, this one included, to Donegal. That's the general idea, to get used to the car and not do anything too stupid in between times, These two guys know these stages pretty well, so I think the best I can hope for is to stay reasonably close to them,
Demi Fitzgerald seated at number 1 in the Gulf Oil's Circuit of Kerry Rally for 1983, followed by Frank O'Mahony, and then the big Opel of North of Ireland entry, Alan Frazer. The Kerry Motor Club was formed in 1971. For the first 4 years, the club concentrated on autocrosses, navigation rallies and small tarmac events. The first Circuit of Kerry Rally took place in 1975, and the winner was Demi Fitzgerald, co-driven by Sam Hawkins in an Escort RS 1600. The following year, 1976, saw victory go to Ger Buckley and John Capeless in an Escort RS 1800. They repeated the win in 1977. 1978, victory went to the husband and wife team of Michael and Anne O'Connell in their very famous Burgle Arm RS 1800. In 1979, Ger Buckley and John Capeless were again winners, and once again they came back in 1980 to win the event for the 4th time, every time in our Escort RS 1800s. For 1981, it was again Buckley and Capeless, but this time in their famous black Vauxhall Chevette. The 1982 Circuit of Kerry Rally had a new clerk of the course in J.P. Brick and a new base at Banna Beach Hotel. The victor on this occasion was Demi Fitzgerald with Leo White, and they were in the Ex Buckley Chevette HSR. And so to 1983, based again in the Banna Beach Hotel with J.P. Brick again clerk of the course. Gulf Oil were the main sponsors, and it was going to be a very exciting event. After 2 stages of the rally, it was obvious where the battle was going to be. Frank O'Mahony was leading in the Colster Chevette from Alan Frazer with the Opel Asona 400. In 3rd place was Demi Fitzgerald, followed very closely by Richie Heeley from Dublin in the RS 1800. "21-year-old Marie Maloney from Dungarvan, co-driven by Monica Crone. They were both going out to get ladies' honours in this rally.
Are you completely happy, Alan, with the way things have gone so far?
Yeah, I'm fairly happy. I think we're second. Somebody told me we were second anyway. And stages, we were on slick tires for the first 2 stages, and they're a bit slippery, but I think we'll stay on them, hope the rain stays off, and that you know, maybe the stages dry up a little bit, because there's very strong wind blowing. Maybe clear them a little bit, you know. So we'll just hope for the best.
Sean, I think you had drive shaft problems before the start. Will it be okay?
Well, we have a Hardy's pressure to change, and that'll cure the drive shaft problem, but that's the lesser of our two problems. We have a more major problem, which is a very smoking engine. It's a brand new engine fitted on Thursday, fired up last night. We drove it down last night, ran it in on the way down, and it's smoking too much to be driving the car. We're not really revving it to its full potential. We're revving it, trying to conserve it to about 8. Billy Coleman's to drive the car next week, and we're worried that we'll do any damage. In fact, the car is going back to have the engine checked over in England on Monday night. So we're here just for the sail through. You know, we won't be doing, if anybody's got their camera ready, tell them not to waste a film on us. Maybe next week when Billy's driving the car.
Okay, Sean, thank you. Sean, we are now halfway through day one. Is everything going according to plan for you?
Yeah, our times are down a bit, but I'm not too worried. There's another day tomorrow. You know, we're lowering the car now for the second time around in 4 stages, whether it'll make any difference or not. We are down a small bit in time, but nothing to worry about.
At the Flying Crossroads, Martin, we gathered that you were fairly spectacular there.
Well, it was more a mistake than anything else. Yeah, because we landed very hard, you know, and I hope we didn't do any damage to the car, but we landed pretty hard now, and it's, well, it was well signposted, you know, and there was a good caution there, but it was deceiving.
The ladies' class is very much under control at the moment. Do you foresee any problems?
I don't think so, not. I don't think the car should give any problems unless the driver does, but I don't think the car will.
Bryce and Garlic, you look very happy to be back in Ireland again.
Oh, we love it over here. We come very often, and it's a great holiday. And of course, it's good rallying too. But this particular one, I find, I like the very wide open roads, and of course, this has been narrow and bumpy. I'm not very competitive, but it's good fun.
By the end of stage 5, Demi Fitzgerald had taken over the lead by a mere 2 seconds from Frank O'Mahony. Then there was a gap back to Richie Heeley in 3rd place, and he was holding off Frazer by only 8 seconds. Demi Fitzgerald was looking very confident in the lead, followed by Richie Heeley with the Escort, and Alan Frazer a long way from home but enjoying himself. Frank O'Mahony was really going hard by this time, and Des O'Neill from Kerry going nicely in his Chevette. Sean Delaney was getting used to the car and taking things fairly gently. Joe Butler had been spectacular all day in his Opel, and Charlie Hickey goes through in his old Escort. He's followed by Ray Benskin, who is fighting for awards for the class. He in turn was followed by Liam Fitzgibbon, and this man, James Dean, who is fighting with Benskin for that class award. Billy Daly, another going for class honours, and Sean Doherty was still in a bit of trouble. This is David Mead from Mallow, followed by English visitor Bryston Garlick. Brendan Savage now, followed by Sean Kelleher. Pat Murphy goes through nicely, but Dermot O'Sullivan, really having a good go, gets himself into trouble here, but was going on for class honours also. Peter Rushford was another of our overseas visitors. And John and Donald Lernan were doing well. Martin Grandin was really going on for a class win, followed by John Moynihan, and then John O'Leary in the little Fiat doing nicely.
Well, Dennis, are you enjoying yourself so far?
Yeah, we're having a very good drive so far. But I've been changing every year this today. I had Tim Ryan was with me, but he's opening a shop in Killarney, but Dan Leary's with me today, so we're going very well. We have a good old drive, like.
Willie Dunworth, we understand that your rally came to a rather premature end.
That's right, yeah. She's after drawing a fifth Conrad out through the block, or else one of the four just popped out. It's not really a day for the Datsuns, I think.
Let's keep back if you do.
On this stage 9, the halfway stage in the rally had been reached at the end of the first day's run. Sadly, later on in this stage, this man, Alan Frazer, would go out of the rally at a flying crossroads where he would break an oil pipe and damage the car. But the rally was being led overall by Frank O'Mahony by 18 seconds from Demi Fitzgerald. In a flying third place was Richie Heeley with the Escort RS 1800. Fourth, a very good drive indeed, was Ray Benskin, and he was followed in turn in fifth place by James Dean. Billy Daly, holding up the honours for Killarney, was in sixth place in his little Golf, and seventh was Sean Doherty. In eighth place was Pat Murphy, with the flying Martin Grandin in ninth, and Joe Butler, very much the star of the day with his press-on driving, in 10th place. Charlie Hickey now, from Killarney, number 15, followed by David Mead, who slightly overdoes it. John O'Leary now, and he's followed in turn by the Lernans. This is Dennis Moynihan with his Escort. Oh, Tim Hamilton gets rather spectacular. Noel O'Sullivan now and Maurice Nagel were doing well in their class. Here come the girls, Marie Maloney and Monica Crone from Tralee. John Dennis is another one who's spectacular here. And he is followed by Dennis Scully from Beaufort in County Kerry.
Saturday evening, Richie. You're in third place, just a minute behind the leaders. You must be very happy with that.
Yes, I'm very pleased, as I said again, considering it's my first time out in a Group 4 car.
You'll be going all out tomorrow from the first stage, I presume, to bring back that minute.
Definitely, I'll definitely be trying all the way tomorrow.
Best of luck to you, Richie. 18 seconds behind Frank, Demi. You'll be really having a go to getting that back in the morning.
But we'll certainly try. What happened today is we had so many problems with the car, it was unreal. At the moment, the guys are changing the full front steering, complete, the geometry and whatnots, and they're changing the back of the car, they're rising it up. We're trying to put it back to where we had it because it's certainly not handling. We think we have the problem solved.
Okay, we look forward to watching you tomorrow.
Thanks very much.
In the lead by 18 seconds, Frank. Do you think it's a good day's work?
Not too bad, I suppose, considering, but it's a very slim lead. You know, just one spin in the morning or puncture or an error of any description, it is gone. So it's really a very slim lead. When you consider we've probably done about 70 or 80 stage miles just to pull out 18 seconds, so I reckon it'll be hard enough to hold it.
You had problems with the fuel injection earlier on today. Have you had that solved?
Well, we had after the second stage we thought it wasn't right and we went at it, and I think we made it worse, so we went back to the original settings for the last 3 stages and she seemed to be going a bit better again. So I'd say injection wise I say it is okay now.
Okay, Frank, every good luck to you for tomorrow.
Yeah.
The second day of the Gulf Oil's Circuit of Kerry Rally was not going to be a very happy one for Frank O'Mahony. Checking overnight, it was found that there was only 8 seconds between he and second place man Demi Fitzgerald. And Demi Fitzgerald, on this, the 10th stage, took back that time and was fractionally in the lead at the end of the stage. But the weather was very much kinder than people expected, because over the last few years we had one dry day and one wet day. And here, to everybody's surprise, for 1983, the weather was good on both days. But Frank O'Mahony, trying as he could, knew that this man, Fitzgerald, was now in the lead, and he was really showing it.
Well, Jim, you're having a ball again today. You must be really pleased.
I'm very pleased, Michael. The steering is getting better than me, thanks be to God. And I'm the hope of catching a ray behind the boys, but I'm happy to stay where I am at the moment.
Things seem to be going way better for you today, Sean.
Oh, they were fantastic. We've picked up a lot of places, as I say, without picking off 10 or 11 cars since we started this morning, and I'm quite happy. As I said yesterday, I was going bad yesterday. I had problems with the back wheels, but today I said I'd make up time, and that's what I'm hoping to do.
The fourth stage of day 2, and while Franco Mahoney is leading on the road, he has lost his lead to this man, Demi Fitzgerald. Richie Heeley in his first full Group 4 drive, going very well in 3rd place. And Ray Benskin, very much at home in his own country, really having a good go. James Dean has been the revelation of the rally in many ways, but Martin Grandin feels that he likes to call in on a farmyard occasionally, and this is one of them. Sean Delaney had every right to be very proud of his drive and the way the car was going. Really nice stuff. Sam Kelleher was leading his class, as was Billy Daly, going well in the golf. Peter Harris from Wales was the leading Welsh driver. Des O'Neill decided to have a bit of a go here and manages to get going again. But at the end of this, the 14th stage, there would be only 4 more stages for Demi Fitzgerald, who was looking pretty good and very confident. Another one to go slightly astray there was John O'Leary with his Fiat 128. Good spectacular stuff too from John Moynihan, but Marie Maloney took a liking to our camera position. Noel Sullivan and Morris Nagel going well.
In the Leary overnight, Frank, how has it been for you so far today?
Not too bad, except we had a big spin on the second last stage. The handbrake jammed up on a 90 right, and I think we lost last time she started and wouldn't start. So I don't really know what Demi's times are like in the last couple of stages. I'd say they're still pretty close, but I think we may have dropped the lead. We probably have dropped the lead, in fact, I'd say.
I think that you're in the lead at the moment by 12 seconds. You'll be very happy with that.
Oh yeah, very happy, very happy. The last stage we had to back off. We had an oil leak, came out of the catch tank, and we thought it was the engine, so we backed it way off. So that cost us some time, but other than that, we've had a faultless run this morning, thank God.
The spectators were enjoying themselves, and Jimmy Dean was determined to make them work for their living.
I think, Michael, I'm coming to the corners a small bit too fast, and my concentration isn't going as well, to be honest about it. I've nothing to gain, I've much to lose, you know, so I'm just quite happy to see where it's going to handle, like, you know, under pressure. So, no matter started 3 times today, 4 times today, just can't hold it on the hairpins, you know. But I don't think it'll cost me much time, to be honest about it, because the next fella behind me is way back, you know?
Frank O'Mahony and his co-driver Brian Curtin are in second place and really trying with the Colster Chevette. Demi Fitzgerald and his co-driver Leo White are only seconds ahead in first place. Third place going nicely and hoping something will happen to the leaders, obviously, at this time, Richie Heeley and his co-driver Vincent Meade. But Ray Benskin is leading his class. Ahead of this man, despite all the stalls, Jimmy Dean. Another class leader is Billy Daly. Martin Grandin also doing very well in his class with the Ritmo. David and Gerard Meade then going nicely at third place in the class. And another man doing nicely was Sean Delaney.
Frank, you have severe clutch problems at the moment. It must be very disappointing coming out this morning 18 seconds of a lead and this to crop up now.
Well, it's bad now at the moment. It's slipping for the past, 4 or 5 stages, and we were adjusting it. We were hoping it might last out, but they're on the last stage. And even the stage before, we just barely got through the stage. She barely pulled herself around some of the hairpins, so I think we've dropped minutes at this stage. So we're just, there's oil pouring onto it from the seal at the back of the crankshaft. So we're just putting on, we've sprayed in a fire extinguisher in there now, so we'll try and get us through the last stage in some fashion just so we get it finished.
Ray Benskin, who had been going very well, suddenly found himself in trouble.
My gearbox got jammed in top gear, and I had to slip the clutch to get out of a hairpin, and the clutch is slipping badly now, so we're only hoping now to get through the last stage.
Vincent, navigating for Richie Heeley, you're now in third place. You must be very, very happy at that.
We are actually, yes. It's a complete new car to Richard, and he was a bit slow starting yesterday, but we had a couple of fastest times today, and in fact we're not sure if we're fast Frank O'Mahony or not, because he's having problems with his clutch. He was delayed going to the last stage because he said he had clutch problems. So we don't know now whether we're second or third, but we're a good third anyway.
Demi, 40 seconds in front, one stage to go. You must feel pretty confident.
Yeah, we're very happy now at the moment. The car is just superb. Weather conditions were fabulous today, so we had a great day.
Lizzie O'Neill from Milltown, you must be pretty pleased with your performance so far.
Not too bad. We had a bit of trouble yesterday with plugs missing today. We had a flat just in this last stage here, and done about 3 miles in the back flat, but we finished that and we've changed now again, and getting very low on rubber, dangerously low on tyres at the moment. Front right is nearly gone now, but hope we get to the finish anyway, and that's about it.
Well, Martin, rumour has it that you've been stock judging here in Kerry today.
Yeah, we stage 13, unlucky for some, but anyway, we had a slight mishap there. All right, we stopped short of a herd of cows inside in some farmer's yard. We had it was a long fast straight, and there was a brow which was blocking the arrows. We went straight on into the farmer's yard. It's a good job the gate was open. But we got upset then with the gearbox, and we drove the rest of the stage and 2 more in 4th gear. So puts us out of the running really.
Okay, Martin, looking forward to meeting you later on.
See ya.
Billy, at the moment you are well within the top 10, but you have braking problems. Could you tell us more about it?
Well, basically what happened was that in the first stage and second stage, just before we arrived into service now, the brakes binded somewhere in the middle of the second stage. At that time, we had no option really, only drive on, but I was pressing the accelerator and the brake was doing the other thing, so between the two we hadn't very good time on the stage. I don't know really against the other lads how we got on, but it felt as if we were going slower anyway. So we got in, and as it happened, we just had to release some fluid off the front brakes. After getting into control, the car wouldn't even move. So now we have it back in stream again, I think. So I think we're all right now.
We hope everything will be okay for you, Billy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
On this, the last stage, Demi Fitzgerald could smell victory. And Richie Heeley was up into 2nd place. Ray Benskin was 4th overall. And Jimmy Dean had put up a splendid performance despite his troubles. Frank O'Mahony was to lose 2 minutes on this stage and drop back to 3rd. Billy Daly was going on to get a class win, and Martin Grandin was going well also. David Mead was going for third place in the class, and Sean Delaney had been going on steadily all weekend. Sean Doherty was to get the best North of Ireland crew, and sadly Declan Krogh, having come up very well through the field, was to finish at this point on the very last stage. What hard luck. But John O'Leary had other things to do, like falling over. This was a fraught moment for this driver because they didn't know whether they would be able to continue. Meantime, Bryson Garlick went on through towards the finish. With a heave and lots of manpower, John O'Leary was able to get his car going once again. At the end of the two-day Gulf Oil's Circuit of Kerry Rally for 1983, the positions were third in Class 8, David and Gerard Mead, second in the class, James and Mike Dean. And the class winners were Ray Benskin and Oliver Walsh. Third in Class 7, William Prenderville and Freddie Murphy. Second were John and Willie Moynihan, and the winner was Martin Grandin. Third in Class 6 were Tim Hamilton and Kevin Casey, while John O'Leary was second. The class winners were Dermot O'Sullivan and Mick Roach. Third in Class 5 were Gerard Dwan and Brian Burke. Second were Ken Leach and Frank Thornton, and the winner was Con Ward and Brian Sparling. Second in Class 4 were Tony Costello and Brendan Shanahan, while first in class were Sam Kelleher and Niall Tobin. Second in Class 3 were Dennis and Pat Lawler, while the winners were Billy Daly and Dan O'Leary. Second in Class 2 were Noel O'Sullivan and Maurice Nagel, and first in that class was Tom Brown. Best Novice Award went to Michael Sheehy, while Marie Maloney and Monica Crone won the award for the Best Ladies Crew. Peter Harris and Russell Thomas were the Best Welsh Crew. The Spirit of the Rally Award went to Bryson and Margaret Garlick. The Best Kerry Motor Club Crew award was won by Brendan Savage and John Crone. And so third overall were Frank O'Mahony and Brian Curtin. Second was Richie Heeley with Vincent Mead. But it was Demi Fitzgerald with Leo White who won the 1983 Gulf Oil's Circuit of Kerry Rally. Our thanks now go to all those who helped in making of this film.